today €. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Road 1 International.
Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 2:47.572. Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:43.419. App posted a 3:16.514 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Chris Ilduke crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 2:48.656. They're getting to grips with Road 1 International, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Wayne Pearson is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what Mercedes-Benz 190E Evo 2 Enduro has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
You know, mate, some folks wonder why these drivers spend so much time in practice. But it's just like prepping a Barbie, you gotta get it right before the big show.
Exactly, Rob. Practice makes perfect, and in racing, perfect can be the difference between pole position and the back of the grid.
Renault 99's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 3:02.234. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
There's the first flying lap for 214 app, hitting 2:47.344. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Alright, Renault 99 has put down a 302.234. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2 Enduro.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
.214 app has a best lap time of 2:47.344. Wayne Pearson posted 808.222 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 2:47.572. Megasaurus 55's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 6:16.399. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
There are just over 225 minutes left in this practice session. Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
.214 APS first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:47.344. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Renault 99 crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking at 2:43.632. They're getting to grips with Road 1 International, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
There's the first flying lap for 214 app, getting 247.344. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Alright, Sunola has put down a 245.525. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of the Alfa Romeo 155 Ti V6 Enduro.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Joe Ergue is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of the book in Europe. Sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Road 1 International.
With just 221 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Mate, sometimes I reckon the pit wall looks like they're controlling a spaceship with all those dials and knobs.
You're not wrong. Each of those adjustments, from brake bias to differential settings, has a profound effect on car behavior. It's like tuning a guitar, but instead of strings, you're tweaking mechanical symphonies to get the car singing just right on the track.
Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better. Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear, or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
Eric Wolfs is on their first practice flying lap. Renault per 99 has a best lap time of 2:43.632. Puppy dog from hell's on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Renault per 99 posted a 2:43.575 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Puppy dog from hell is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
.214 app posted 2:53.186 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Simon Barnes is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the Opel Omega Evo 500 DTM Enduro's capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps.
These practices, mate, they're like a kangaroo finding its best hop. Once you've got it, you're unstoppable.
Couldn't have put it better. Finding the perfect launch is all about repetition and adjustments.
Oi, these practices aren't just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
Sunoiler's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 3:39.874. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Look at Simon Barnes go. They're really giving it some jangle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car is performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Joe Gu is getting to grips with the Audi V8 Quattro DTM Enduro in this practice session. Eric Wolfs has a best lap time of 2:47.941. There's the first flying lap for Joe Gu, hitting 5:02.729. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Alright, Renault 99 has put down a 2:43.575. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2 Enduro.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Mate, these drivers aren't just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second to be found.
You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you'd think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it. Starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure. You tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
With just 209 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Renault 99 crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking at 8:26.285. They're getting to grips with Road 1 International, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Chris Ilduke posted 2:52.011 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? 214 app posted a 247.029 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:42.613. Eric Wolf's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:47.298. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Alright, Renault 99 has put down a 2:44.747. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2 Enduro.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
In these sessions, they're not just pushing the car's limits, but their own too. Testing their mettle, seeing how far they can go before the big dance.
Exactly. It's a mental game as much as a physical one. Balancing aggression with precision, daring with data. It's an art and a science.
There's no mucking around for Puppy Dog from Hella Euro, straight down to business on this first flyer. They'll be keen to see what times they can clock in early on.
Yeah, and it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, finding that flow around Road 1 International. Getting into that groove early can set the pace for the whole session.
Eric Wolfs has a best lap time of 2:47.298. Chris Ilduke's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:50.576. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
.214 app crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 2:47.223. They're getting to grips with Road 1 International, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Maybe today Satan posted 246.570 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? (214) app posted a 247.223 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Yu has a best lap time of 247.110. So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
You ever think about what's ticking inside a driver's noggin during these laps?
All the time. It's a mix of analyzing, strategizing, and adapting. Every corner, every straight is a puzzle, and they're trying to solve it at full speed.
It's all about finding that sweet spot during these sessions. Like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right. In Indy, we fine-tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
Chris Duke's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 3:59.160. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Let's get this qualifying session underway here at Road 1 International.
We're about to witness some serious heart as they battle it out for a chance at the front of the starting grid.
Chris Duke is on their out lap.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Currently in second, Megasaurus 55 has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Incredible drive by Chris Duke so far, earning him 7th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? Roel Postma has put in a great effort and currently holds 6th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position? A disappointing performance from Eric Wolf so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 11th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent and experience to bounce back and salvage a better result.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Eric Wolfs is facing a tough challenge, but they are known for their fighting spirit. This qualifying session is a test of their character, and I believe they have what it takes to overcome this setback.
A solid qualifying performance by Megasaurus 55, positioning them in 2nd at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunner. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. What a fantastic showing from Richard Rossier in qualifying. They currently hold the top spot and are in prime position for a strong starting position. Their lap times have been exceptional, and they have showcased their talent and determination.
I share your thoughts, Rob. Richard Rossier is currently untouchable with their outstanding performance. They have raised the bar, and their competitors have a tough challenge ahead to catch up.
Richard Rossier has completed their outlap. A strong showing from Sunoiler as Sunoiler has completed their outlap. An outstanding display from Megasaurus 55 in this qualification session. They have been on fire, putting in blistering lap times and currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard. It's a statement performance, showcasing their speed and determination. And there goes Richard Rossier, currently in position 3. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Richard Rossier has just completed a lap in 2:43.420. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. Impressive display by maybe today's Satan, currently sitting in position 6. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Maybe today's Satan has shown great potential to secure 6th. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
Maybe today Satan has just completed that lap in 2:44.441. Their best lap so far is 2:44.441, putting them in P6. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Jack M team has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Puppy Dog from Hell has completed their first flying lap in 2:50.331. Impressive work from Jack M team, who has claimed 7th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
You're spot on, Rob. Jack M team's current position of 7th is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
Jack M team has just completed a lap in 2:43.292. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. It's been a struggle for Eric Wolfs in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 11th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motorsport is unpredictable, and there's still an opportunity for them to shine and move up the grid. Eric Wolfs has just completed that lap in 2:46.610. Their best lap so far is 2:46.610, putting them in P10. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Chris Ilduke has completed their outlap. Disappointing performance from Lars in this qualifying session. Currently in 14th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race.
Spot on analysis, Rob. It's been a difficult qualifying session for Lars, but they shouldn't lose hope just yet. They have the talent and determination to make a comeback, and it'll be exciting to see how they respond to this adversity.
Lars has completed their outlap. A tough outing for Simon Barnes in qualifying today. They currently sit in 14th position, which is far from ideal. However, there's a chance for them to regroup, analyze their data, and make some adjustments to their setup to improve their result. Simon Barnes has completed their outlap. Renault Per 99 has positioned themselves well in 6th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Renault Per 99 has done a fantastic job to claim 6th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Looks like Renault Per 99 needs to put the pedal to the metal. That last lap times landed them in 6th. Not where they'd want to be, especially with the session ticking away.
True, Rob. It's all about incremental gains. Every tenth of a second counts, and they've got to squeeze every bit of performance out of that Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2 Enduro.
Incredible performance by Sunoiler so far. They have been the benchmark in this qualification session, consistently setting far. Sunoiler's really showing what they're made of, landing in 1st during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed.
It's an impressive showing by Wayne Pearson, currently in 10th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
Great analysis, Rob. Wayne Pearson has shown excellent pace to secure 10th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
Seems like Wayne Pearson's struggling to find the sweet spot with their Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2 Enduro. Sitting in 8th with a time of 2:45.641, they might want to consider adjusting the suspension setup for better handling.
Yeah, tuning the suspension could improve cornering stability, Rob. It's all about finding that balance between agility and stability on a technical track like this.
A solid performance from Roll Postma as they currently hold position 6. However, with the session coming to a close, it's about time Roll Postma considered a different approach. With a 2:43.575, they're stuck in 6th. Maybe a change in brake bias could give them more control in those hard braking zones.
That's a solid point, Rob. Better braking control means they can brake later and harder, making up precious time in the corners.
It's been a challenging day for Simon Barnes in qualifying. They currently sit in 15th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their result. Simon Barnes has completed their first flying lap in 2:59.812. Incredible drive by Wayne Pearson so far, earning him 8th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
You're absolutely right, Rob. Wayne Pearson's current position of 8th reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they'll need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position.
Wayne Pearson might need to rethink their setup. That 2:43.861 isn't doing them any favors in 7th. Maybe tweaking the downforce for better grip could shave off a few precious seconds.
I agree, Rob. A bit more downforce on those corners at Road 1 International could make a world of difference. But they'll have to be careful not to sacrifice too much top speed on the straights.
It hasn't been the best qualifying session for 214 apps so far. They find themselves in 12th position, which is not where they had hoped to be. However, there's still time left on the clock, and they have the opportunity to make improvements. Currently in 2nd, Megasaurus 55 has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Looks like Megasaurus 55 is making a statement, securing a spot in 2nd.
Yep, Rob, but there's always room for improvement. Smooth, consistent laps might just be the key to climbing even higher before this session wraps up. It's been a challenging session for 214 app. They're currently languishing in 12th position, which is not where they had envisioned themselves. But in motorsport, anything can happen, and with their skill and determination, they might still turn things around. You're absolutely right, Rob. 214 AP might be disappointed with their current position, but there's still time to make a difference. They'll need to remain composed, analyze the data, and push themselves to the limit to improve their qualifying result.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. You've joined us on a breezy day here at Road 1 International as we're getting ready to get things underway. Sunoiler will have the best seat in the house starting from pole position. The second place on the grid belongs to Megasaurus 55, a driver with plenty of experience. Starting from the third position on the grid, we have Jack M Team.
But they're going to have to be quick out of the blocks if they want to keep up with the top performers.
As the green flag drops, keep an eye on Renault 99 starting in fourth position. Sitting in fifth, it's Richard Rossier.
Big things expected for Richard Rosier today.
Roel Postma has qualified sixth.
The Dutch driver has been driving the wheels off the Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2 Enduro in practice.
Sitting in seventh is Wayne Pearson.
Expect some battling with maybe today's Satan.
Maybe today Satan is going to be starting from 8th. In the middle of the pack, we have Chris Ilduke starting from the 9th position on the grid. As the engines roar to life, Eric Wolfs prepares to take off from the 10th position on the starting grid.
They'll be looking for a clean race.
Joe Yu has got their work cut out for them starting from 11th on the grid.
The German driver will want to show what they're made of today.
214 app is lining up 12th.
We've seen great results from here. What has 214 AP got in store for us?
Lars is in a solid position starting from 13th on the grid. Starting from 14th on the grid is a tough ask for Puppy Dog from Hell, but they're up for the challenge. With a spirited start, we've embarked on a journey. This initial lap requires equal parts guts and genius, lest they face the dire consequences of hubris.
This is where the real action begins. The drivers will be jostling for position and trying to gain any advantage they can.
Absolutely. It's a crucial part of the race, and the drivers will need to be on top of it to make it through here unscathed.
The first sector is always a bit of a nail-biter. With so many cars bunched together, one small mistake can be disastrous.
They'll need to keep their wits about them and stay focused if they want to come out of this section unscathed. There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start. Chris Ilduke must have taken a page out of a superhero's book because they've just shot off like the Flash.
Now, they just need to maintain that speed and focus. That might be some smooth sailing with the wind at 8. But Chris Ilduke has got to be careful not to go overboard, especially if they're plotting to leave Roel Postma in their wake.
Wacko, 214 apps blazed past Richard Rossier like they're standing still. With 85.78382873535156 km/h on the dash, they're smashing it on Road 1 International today.
I'll tell ya, 214 AP came out swinging like a barn door in a tornado. But will they have the grit to keep it up?
Wayne Pearson must have mistaken the gas pedal for the brake, losing precious positions right off the bat. Chris Ilduke just blitzed past 214 app like they were standing still.
Definitely, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Chris Ilduke needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
It's a close race between Maybe Today Satan and 214 app in 6th.
If maybe today Satan pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
With a move that's swift, I'd say maybe today Satan's running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit. Well, that's an unexpected descent. Maybe today Satan finds themselves repositioned at 11th. Maybe today Satan's more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast, and at least I woke up with a kebab in hand.
Lordy, it's like maybe today Satan's driving with a boot full of moonshine. I haven't seen a gap that big since Uncle Jeb lost his front teeth.
A solid performance from Chris Ilduke, who is holding down 5th. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Puppy Dog from Hell is breathing down the neck of Simon Barnes, not giving them any room to relax.
It's a battle of nerves now. Who will make the first mistake? Puppy Dog from Hell or Simon Barnes? This is high-stakes racing.
Buckle up. Wayne Pearson is all over Jack M team like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? It's an intense battle for position as Eric Wolfs tries to outmaneuver Lars. This is edge-of-your-seat racing. The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and 214 app is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 0.6 seconds. Things are getting spicy as Megasaurus 55 is breathing down Eric Wolf's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them. Great driving from Megasaurus 55, who has just gained a place and moved up to 10th.
Impressive. Megasaurus 55 is really showing their skill and determination out there.
You ever wonder, Rob, how much preparation goes into each race weekend? It's not just about the driver, but the hundreds behind the scenes, making every little detail count.
Oh, absolutely. The hours spent in the simulator, the mechanics working overnight on those tools. Racing is as much about team spirit and dedication as it is about speed on the track. It's a collective masterpiece.
The race is really heating up. Megasaurus 55 is hunting down Lars with everything they've got. This is a thrilling battle as Puppy Dog from Hell edges closer to 214 app in their fight for P12.
In this high-speed game,
Sorry to cut in here. Maybe today Satan's got a drop bear in the cockpit, cause that move was bonkers.
feels like maybe today Satan's car turned into a stubborn mule for a second there at Road 1 International.
Puppy dog from hell wants to find a way round 214 app. Alright, lads, hold up a mo. Oh mate, puppy dog from hell's impersonating a lost tourist. Did someone forget to tell them it's a race, not a bushwalk?
Dang, puppy dog from hell's swerving around like me chasing a sale at the car parts store. Always ends up being a wild ride.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Chris Ilduke is right behind Jack M Team, keeping the pressure on for 5th place.
Mate, if I had $1 for every time Chris Ilduke looked like overtaken, I'd be sipping mojitos on a beach right now.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Lars is getting smaller.
I reckon Megasaurus 55's dialed in their camber settings. They're getting a much better contact patch on the tires, gaining on Lars with every twist and turn.
Wayne Pearson is giving it their all as they chase down Jack M Team in P5. Stone the Crows. Wayne Pearson's going faster than a roux on the hop. Jack M Team's got to step up their game now.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Wayne Pearson is turning this race into a barn burner. Jack M Team's gotta dig deep now.
As a former racing driver, how important is the relationship between a driver and their team during a race?
It's absolutely crucial, Rob. The team provides valuable information and support, helping the driver make the right decisions on track. A strong bond between the driver and the team can be the difference between winning and losing.
Look at that, Lars is hot on the tail of Joe Ergue. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Megasaurus 55 is proper nipping at Lars's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell. This is what it's all about, folks. Lars is in hot pursuit of Joe Ergue, who's just trying to stay ahead. Simon Barnes is off the track. Reminds me of my first car, a real lemon. Drove straight but only in reverse. Hold on to your hats. Lars is gunning for Joe Ergue. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend?
They say rubbing is racing, but if Lars gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
Wow, Megasaurus 55 is really pushing hard to catch up to Lars. There's blood in the water for 8th place.
And the drivers know it too, Rob. They're giving it everything they've got, and you can see them pushing the limits of the car's capabilities.
We got a close battle as Chris Ilduke closes in on Megasaurus 55.
If Chris Ilduke gets any closer to Megasaurus 55, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
Lars seems to be putting the pressure on Megasaurus 55. Whoa there, Megasaurus 55 is sticking to Joe Ergue like glue. You reckon Joe Ergue's feeling the pressure? Cause I sure would.
Honestly, Rob, with this chase, I'm half expecting to see some sneaky dive bombs in the next few laps. Popcorn ready?
It's a battle of wills out there. Each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Lars must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Alright, hold your horses. Megasaurus 55 is really putting the heat on Joe Erg-Yu. If I were Joe Erg-Yu, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Megasaurus 55 and Jorg-Yu, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
Incident alert, Struth. Megasaurus 55's having a real dog's breakfast of a moment.
Yeehaw, Megasaurus 55 decided to do a little off-roading. Wrong event, partner.
The gap between Wayne Pearson and Jack M team is razor thin as they vie for 5th in this nail-biting contest.
This is what separates the good from the great. The ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
It's a game of inches now as 214 apptails Megasaurus 55 closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
No room for error here. Wayne Pearson is breathing down the incident alert. Looks like Lars forgot they weren't at Bondi Beach, taking a dive like that.
Lord have mercy. Lars must have seen a ghost or thought they spotted Bigfoot. That was one wild turn.
The intensity is off the charts as Wayne Pearson hounds Jack M team, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
Things are heating up as Joe Erg-Yu closes in on Wayne Pearson. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
This battle between Jorg-Yu and Wayne Pearson is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
Rob, last time I saw Chris Ilduck this riled up, there were sparks flying off the track. Get ready for a showdown.
The action is non-stop as Megasaurus 55 shadows Chris Ilduck through every twist and turn, determined to claim 10th. Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Megasaurus 55's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Chris Ilduck. Who needs speed dating when you've got Joe Erg-Yu chasing down Wayne Pearson this eagerly? Move over Tinder. This is how you swipe right at 100 miles per hour.
Will Jorg-Yu be able to make a move and pass Wayne Pearson?
The adrenaline is pumping as Megasaurus 55 gets within striking distance of Chris Ilduck in their race for 10th.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them the race.
Strike a light. Megasaurus 55 is throwing out numbers like they're buying rounds at the pub. Chris Ilduck, did that sting a bit?
The question is now, can Chris Ilduck respond to that in kind? They're going to have to pick up the pace.
The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Joe Erg-Yu's inching ever closer to Wayne Pearson. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? It seems like Megasaurus 55 is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Megasaurus 55 refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Megasaurus 55 for nabbing 10th. Hold on to your hats, folks. Chris Ilduck is right on the heels of Megasaurus 55, and we're in for a wild ride. Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Chris Ilduck, lagging behind Megasaurus 55 and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. Looks like Wayne Pearson is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curve can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control. The gap's closing, the clock's ticking, and the finish line awaits its champion.
Gee whiz, Wayne Pearson's getting some stop the press. Bloody hell. Sunoiler just took a quick detour to the outback. Maybe they saw a kangaroo on the track or something. Gee whiz, Wayne Pearson is breathing down Jack M Team's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Jack M Team's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. Oh, this is getting intense. 214 app is just behind Megasaurus 55. It's a close race between Roll Postma and Sunoiler in third. With steely determination and laser focus, Wayne Pearson is homing in on Jack M Team. The battle lines are drawn.
Looks like Wayne Pearson has got more moves than a cowboy in a honky-tonk bar. Jack M Team better watch out or he'll be two-step right off the track.
Oh no, what's this? Looks like Chris Ilduke's playing in the dirt. Took me back to when I tried rallying in my mum's old sedan. Good times, expensive repairs. Every gear shift, every pedal push, Roll Postman's got one goal in mind, capturing Sunoiler's spot. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Wayne Pearson is breathing down the neck of Jack M Team, not giving them any room to relax. Boy, Wayne Pearson has just whipped out a blinder of a lap. Faster than Jack M Team. Bet that's gonna ruffle some feathers. I'm curious, Hal, can you tell us about any pre-race rituals you had when you were racing?
Of course, Rob. Before every race, I would listen to a specific playlist of songs to help me get in the zone. I also had a lucky pair of socks that I would wear during races. It may sound silly, but those little rituals help me feel prepared and focused.
Buckle up. Joe Ergue is all over Wayne Pearson like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action?
Hey Rob, ever seen a cat toy with a mouse? Kind of feels like what your view is doing to Wayne Pearson right now, doesn't it?
It's an intense battle for position as Wayne Pearson tries to outmaneuver Jack M Team. This is edge of your seat racing. Like a scene from a thriller, Lars is on Eric Wolf's tail, hungry for that spot. Fair dinkum, Lars is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Eric Wolf's is now down to a whisker at 0.4 seconds. Things are getting spicy as Joe Ergue is breathing down Wayne Pearson's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them. Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Eric Wolf's is sniffing around Lars like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of A. It's a thrilling pursuit as Wayne Pearson is right behind Jack M Team, keeping the pressure on for 5th place.
You know what they say, keep your friends close, and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Wayne Pearson is taking that advice to heart today.
This is what racing... Wait, talk about going walkabout on the track. 214 apps off on a little bush adventure at Road 1 International, aren't they? Now, that's what I'm talking about. Wayne Pearson is proper nipping at Jack M Team's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell. This is what it's all about, folks. Joe Ergue is in hot pursuit of Wayne Pearson, who's just trying to stay ahead. Mate, Joe Ergue's creeping up on Wayne Pearson like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked that brake bias a touch to the rear. Eric Wolfs has the pedal to the metal chasing Lars. I tell you what, Eric Wolfs has got more problems than a maths book right now. Lars is leaving them in a cloud of dust. So, when you were racing, ever have to do the old nature call dash during a red flag?
Haha, you mean a pit stop for the driver and not the car? Once or twice, you learn to time your drinks, and hope for a long caution. Doesn't always work out though.
Joe Ergue's got their tail tighter than a kangaroo in a hammock. If Lars is gonna make a pass, they'll have to buy them a drink first.
That's right, Jorg Yu is showing some great form and it looks like Lars won't be able to catch up, barring any mistakes.
The race has its rhythm, and right now, Chris Ilduke is dancing to its beat at 11th.
And just like in any great drama, Chris Ilduke is the lead actor right now, captivating us all from the 11th.
Looks like Chris Ilduke's letting others have their 15 seconds of fame. Now strolling at 12th.
Racing's like good old southern barbecue. Slow and steady. Maybe Chris Ilduke is just marinating a bit before the big sizzle.
A twist in our tale. Chris Ilduke slipping more than a bar of soap in a bath, now at 13th. Eric Wolfs is on a mission, chasing Lars who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curves and pushing the car to the ragged edge looking for every last ounce of speed. Could be they're pushing too hard though, and that's only going to slow them down.
Hold on to your hats. Wayne Pearson is gunning for Jack M Team. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? Bugger me, Wayne Pearson's got their thumbs stuck in the mud. Meanwhile, Jack M Team is off like a bucket of prawns in the sun.
Well, tickle me pink. Wayne Pearson's lap time ain't exactly lighting up the track. Jack M Team's making them eat dust like it's apple pie.
As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Joe Ergue is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Wayne Pearson. Joe Ergue is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Wayne Pearson at the moment. Ever felt like you're being watched? Bet Wayne Pearson's getting that vibe right about now with Joe Ergue lurking. As fast as a cut snake, Wayne Pearson is moving away from Joe Ergue.
Seems like Wayne Pearson has got the wind in their sails, but will Jorg Yu be able to weather the storm?
Aussies love a good underdog story. Any dark horses you're keeping an eye on for this race?
Well, every rodeo has its wild card. I've got a couple names in mind, but I'll keep them close to the vest for now.
Blimey, Joe Ergue's more eager to catch Wayne Pearson than a bloke at the bar at last call. Hope he's got the stamina for this chase.
Someone shook the board?
Seems so. Joe Ergue's taken a slide, but knowing them, it's just a part of the dance.
Did we just witness a gambit?
It seems Joe Yu is recalibrating, now at 9th.
That's got to hurt. Your Yu will be kicking themselves right now.
Wow, Joe Yu is really pushing hard to catch up to Eric Wolf's. There's blood in the water for 8th place.
Remember that time your Yu made that audacious move on the last lap? Feels like deja vu, doesn't it, Rob?
I'm Cyric. Wolf's in 8th is starting to notice Joe Yu is right on their tail and is still closing the gap. Can Eric Wolf's, can they hold on to their position?
It's a close race as we can see, and Eric Wolf's is doing a great job defending their position. Will your Yu be able to squeeze through?
A tough moment for Eric Wolf's, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 9th.
Definitely, but Eric Wolf's is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
With every twist and turn, Lars is shadowing Jack MT, waiting to pounce like a lion on the hunt.
I think they are going to take that.
We got a close battle as Joe Yu closes in on Lars.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
Boy, Joe Yu, no time for a smoko break. Lars is tearing up the track like it's the end of the world.
It will be interesting to see if Lars can keep outpacing your Yu.
It's a tense battle for position between Lars in 7th and Joe Yu in 8th. Lars is keeping Joe Yu at bay with a gap of 0.2 seconds. Joe Yu could be looking for a way up the inside of Lars.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
Eric Wolf's is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. There's a razor-thin line between glory and disaster, and both drivers are dancing right on it.
Seems like Wayne Pearson is getting in range of Joe Yu.
They need to keep it on the black stuff. You don't get points for driving over weeds, not in this game.
The gap between Wayne Pearson and Joe Yu is widening. It's now up to 0.7 seconds. Anyone who says that AssettoCorsaFriends is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
Things are heating up as Lars tries to close the gap to Jack MT.
The gap is 0.4 seconds now. Lars is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Jack MT.
Whoa there, 214 app is sticking to maybe today Satan like glue. You reckon maybe today Satan's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would. It's a battle of wills out there. each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
It's a battle for position as Jorg Yu tries to make a move on Lars. This is what racing is all about.
It's not going to plan for Jorg Yu. They are still behind Lars and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. As a former racing driver, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Rob. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
Every move counts now as Lars works to reel in Jack M team and overtake for P5.
It's a pressure cooker out there. Every second shaved off means Lars is a step closer to tasting victory.
In your experience, Hal, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Rob, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
It looks like Lars is in control. They're ahead of Jorg Yu by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon.
I tell you what, Lars is putting on a clinic out there. Protecting that spot like it's the last piece of Mama's fried chicken.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. What do you think, Hal? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Rob. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
Phew, talk about foreplay. Eric, Wolfs and Wayne Pearson are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first day.
This is more than a race. It's a battle of wills, of nerve, of sheer determination.
Alright, hold your horses. Jorg Yu is really putting the heat on Lars. If I were Lars, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Who will keep their cool under pressure? Jorg Yu or Lars? It's anyone's race.
The gap between Lars and Jack M team is razor thin as they vie for 5th in this nail-biting contest.
If things go wrong between Lars and Jack M team, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
The gap between Lars and Jack M team is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 0.5 seconds. This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes.
Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug. But seriously, it's like Game 7 of the World Series here.
Stone the Crows. Eric, Wolfs has managed to trim that gap with Wayne Pearson. Hey, must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down that beer.
I've seen drivers fight G-forces, fatigue, and mental strain. But Eric, Wolfs is doing more than just enduring, they're thriving. Wayne Pearson better check that rearview mirror.
Stone the Crows. Lars is in 6th, but if I know them, Jack M Team's gonna cop an Aussie-style sneak attack real soon.
I've seen Molasses move faster than this. Just kidding. But Lars is surely making Jack M Team feel the heat. It's a southern summer showdown out here.
Reminds me of two wombats fighting for the best burrow. Close, intense, and unpredictable.
Oh, this is gripping. With every lap, Sunoiler's drawing closer to that lead spot. They're both battling tire to tire.
If I were the leader, I'd be checking my mirrors every blink of an eye. Wait, Renault 99 has pulled into the pits. Hold on to your stubbies. Lars is closing in on Jack M Team like a bachelor at the end of a Bucks night. Hope Jack M Team either brought some lube or protection.
Each roar of the engine, each squeal of the tire is a chapter in this epic duel.
Sorry to cut in here, Roll Postma is in the pits. Ladies and gents, we've got ourselves a high-speed pursuit. Lars is stalking Jack M Team's every move. This incident alert, Renault 99 has decided to pit. The chase music's playing in Joe Ergu's head as they reel in Lars, moment by nail-biting moment. Sorry to interrupt here, but it looks like Roll Postma has been called into the pits. Oi, Lars is giving it a red-hot go in 5th. Just a few kangaroo hops behind Jack M Team. Might see a cheeky move soon.
Woo-wee, there's more tension between Lars and Jack M Team than there is at a shotgun wedding. Pass the popcorn and let's see where this love story goes.
It may seem like Richard Rossier is far behind, but Sunoiler can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Richard Rossier an opening to catch up. It's a dynamic landscape out there. Sunoiler's shift to 2nd is testament to that.
Well, butter my biscuit. A bit of a hiccup for Sunoiler, but they've got the grit to climb back up.
Tell me, mate, ever tried doing a burnout in a ute? It's bloody bonza.
A ute? You guys and your funny names. That's just a pickup, right? Trust me, I've burned more rubber than you've had shrimp on the Barbie.
There's a storm brewing, and it's got Wayne Pearson's name on it. Joe Ergu, batten down the hatches, it's coming for you. It's a game of inches now as Megasaurus 55 tails Eric, wolves closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
Blimey, Megasaurus 55 shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to 8th just like that.
It's like Megasaurus 55 had an extra shot of espresso or something, jetting up to 8th.
On a lighter note, if I could eat, I'd kill for some of the trackside snacks right about now.
Oh, absolutely. But you know, my digestion is a real mess.
Ah, is that what the smell is? You reckon Lars has got a shot, mate?
I'd say it's like trying to throw a football into a moving pickup truck from 50 yards. Tough, but not impossible.
The best laid plans of mice and men are hell, but it's certainly not going to plan for Lars right now as they are struggling to keep up with Jack M Team. You know, Wayne Pearson reminds me of my dating life. Starts with promise, ends up tailing behind everyone else. Wayne Pearson's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Joe Ergu like a dingo after a roadrunner. It's hotter out there than an Aussie summer day, mate. Reckon Lars can catch some shade behind Jack M Team?
Shade? Here, we call that drafting. Let's see if they can stay cool and make a move. If not, there's always the AC in the pit. Y'all ever been to a Carolina hoedown? Cuz Lars is dancing with that car, looking to waltz right past Jack M Team.
No room for error here. Megasaurus 55 is breathing down the neck of Wayne Pearson, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Good on ya, Lars. Not letting Jack M team get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a "g'day mate" on the next corner? Fair dinkum. Lars is finding those aerodynamic sweet spots. Could be adjusting that front wing angle to cut through the air like a hot knife through butter.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Megasaurus 55 is closing in on Wayne Pearson.
Who will be able to maintain their pace and come out on top?
Megasaurus 55 is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Wayne Pearson to 0.3 seconds. In your experience, Al, what was the most important aspect of managing tire degradation during a race?
The most important aspect, Rob, was maintaining a good balance between pushing hard and conserving tires. Finding the sweet spot between aggression and tire preservation was key to optimizing race pace and strategy.
Oh, this is getting intense. Lars is just a few car lengths behind Jack M team. Wayne Pearson wants to close that gap with Megasaurus 55.
There is no room for error in this battle.
I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Wayne Pearson's just breezed into 7th. Megasaurus 55 wants to get into Wayne Pearson's slipstream. Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Megasaurus 55, lagging behind Wayne Pearson and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. Did you ever think about the physics at play here? The G-forces these drivers feel, especially during tight corners. It's mind-boggling.
Absolutely, Rob. And it's not just the car's engineering, but the human body's resilience and adaptability. The way these drivers train to withstand and use those forces to their advantage. It's an art form combined with sheer grit.
Lars is running 5th. They are trying to catch Jack M team. Oi! Lars's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Jack M team's got a battle ahead.
Now, ain't that something? Lars is right on it. Just needs to keep the pedal to the metal to tailgate Jack M team.
Oh, the chase is on. Megasaurus 55's breathing down the neck of Wayne Pearson.
Well, butter my biscuit. With a gap just shy of a second, Megasaurus 55's car is dialed in. He's looking to reel Wayne Pearson in on the straights of Road 1 International.
Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Megasaurus 55's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Wayne Pearson. Fair dinkum, I reckon Lars has got that thirsty look in his eyes. Wants to share a cold one with Jack M team in the front. The intensity is off the charts as Wayne Pearson hounds Megasaurus 55, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Things are heating up as Roll Postma closes in on Eric Wolfs. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. A great moment for Roll Postma, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Hold on a moment, Eric, Wolfs is pitting. Blimey, Lars's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest.
Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch. The gap between them is now just over 0.6 seconds. Who will come out on top?
Breaking development, Eric, Wolfs is in the pits. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
You know, Rob, I wouldn't put it past Lars to pull a rabbit out of the hat in this duel. Keep those eyes peeled.
It's not coming up roses for Lars. They're trailing Jack M team and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. During your racing career, Hal, did you have any specific techniques to regain concentration if you felt it slipping?
Yes, Rob, I had a few techniques. One was to take a couple of deep breaths and briefly reset my focus. Another was to use a specific keyword or phrase as a mental trigger to refocus my mind on the task at hand.
The action is non-stop as Roll Postma shadows Wayne Pearson through every twist and turn, determined to claim 8th.
Oi, Rob, wouldn't want to be in Wayne Pearson's shoes right now, would y'all? Talk about a pressure cooker situation.
Ripper of a move. Roll Postma's not just in the race, they're owning it. G'day, 8th.
Yes, Roel Postma is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Sorry to interrupt here, but, well, Wayne Pearson's decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them. Tell ya what, Lars has got more guts than a croc in a boxing ring. Closing that gap and breathing down the neck of Jack M team. Hope Jack M team brought the aeroguard, cause is about to get bitten.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Lars needs to stay patient and wait for Jack M team to make a mistake.
Lars has been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a... Hold on a second, Wayne Pearson has decided to pit. This isn't just racing, it's a duel. Watch as Lars zeroes in on Jack M team, blade sharpened and ready.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Lars needs to be careful not to overdo it.
You know, racing is all about strategy. It's like choosing between a sausage sizzle and a meat pie.
Sausage? Sizzle? Why not?
Wait, Wayne Pearson has pulled into the pits. Oi, Lars is on Jack M team like a drop bear on an unsuspecting tourist.
Drop bear? Had to Google that one. But yeah, here it's like a linebacker on a quarterback sack.
You beauty. Lars's lap was hotter than a sunburned shrimp on the barbie. Looks like Megasaurus 55 is trying to chase down Joe Ergue, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results.
Watching Megasaurus 55 right now is like reliving my high school track meets. A for effort, D for speed.
You Americans have your drive-thrus. Here, Lars is trying to make this a drive past on Jack M team.
Well, let's see if they can supersize that pass, or if they'll just get a side of disappointment.
I tell you what, Lars has got more problems than a maths book right now. Jack M team is leaving them in a cloud of dust. As a former driver, Hal, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
Remember when Megasaurus 55 was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night. Megasaurus 55 is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Can Megasaurus 55 keep it together?
You know, mate, I was chatting with some of the pit crew earlier, and they were debating on which tyre compound to use. Hard as deciding between a meat pie and a sausage roll.
Well, back in my Indy days, the choice was as clear as sweet tea or lemonade. But I reckon, here, with these changing conditions, it's more of a gamble.
Look at Sunoiler trying to close that gap on Richard Rossier. Kind of like me trying to get close to a decent Barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party.
It's game on now. Sunoiler has closed the gap to Richard Rossier. It's now down to 0.3 seconds.
This is where the pressure really starts to build. Both drivers will need to stay calm and focused if they want to come out on top.
Now that's how it's done. Sunoiler rips through the track, while Richard Rossier watches the tail lights fade. The pressure is on for Joe Ergu as they try to catch up to Lars.
Can Yu close the 0.8 second gap and make a pass?
Looks like Joe Ergu remembered to twist that anti-roll bar, giving them better cornering. If they get any closer to Lars, they'll be seeing what they had for brekkie.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
Cricky. Megasaurus 55 sticking to Joe Ergu like Vegemite on toast. This is more tense than a possum in headlights.
They say pressure makes diamonds. Well, Megasaurus 55's shining bright, closing in with every heartbeat.
Megasaurus 55 could be on a charge here. How they have just put in a quicker lap than Joe Ergu.
As long as Megasaurus 55 can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see.
Mate, I've heard the drivers talking about their car setups. It sounds more complicated than assembling an IKEA bookshelf.
You're not wrong. Back home, we just say it's like trying to line dance on a slippery floor. Takes a lot of tweaks and twists to get it right.
This race has turned into a game of cat and mouse. Joe Ergu is the predator, with Lars firmly in their sights.
The tension between Yu and Lars is palpable as they battle for P5. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
Bloody ripper. Joe Ergu's just made Lars look like they're on a Sunday drive with that scorcher of a lap. This is edge of the seat stuff. Richard Rossier is relentlessly hunting down Sunoiler. Who'll blink first?
With just 0.9 seconds between them, will Richard Rossier be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
Megasaurus 55 wants to find a way round Joe Ergu.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
The adrenaline is pumping as Joe Ergu gets within striking distance of Jack M team in their race for 5th. Zhou Yu is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 1.36 seconds down. Who needs speed dating when you've got Megasaurus 55 chasing down Zhou Yu this eagerly? Move over Tinder. This is how you swipe right at 100 miles per hour.
It's a game of strategy now as Megasaurus 55 hunts down Lord Yu. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory?
Lars is following Renopa 99 so closely, they could start charging them rent for occupying the same space on the track.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Megasaurus 55 is right on the heels of Zhou Yu, and we're in for a wild ride.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
It's a battle. Incident alert. Blimey. Zhou Yu veered off the track like I veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex. The battle for 3 is heating up as Renopa 99 tries to catch Lars in P3.
It's hotter than a jalapeno out here. If Renopa 99 gets any closer to Lars, we're gonna need to put this stream on OnlyFans.
Hold on a second, Chris Iljuk is pitting. The gap between Renopa 99 in 4th and Lars remains over a second, but Renopa 99 is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 32 minutes? Well, don't come the raw prawn. Renopa 99's giving it some stick. Breaking update, Chris Iljuk is in the pits. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Megasaurus 55's inching ever closer to Jack M team. Sorry to cut in here, Chris Iljuk has decided to pit. The pursuit is on. Megasaurus 55 is closing the gap on Jack M team, determined to claim P5.
This ain't a trap, it's a coliseum, and the gladiators are putting on one hell of a show.
Sorry to cut in here, it looks like Richard Rossier has been called into the pits. By the looks of it, Megasaurus 55 in 6th is keen to throw another shrimp on the barbie and crank up the heat on Jack M team. Hold on to your stubbies.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Megasaurus 55 should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Jack M team.
It's not going to plan for Megasaurus 55. They are still breaking update. Richard Rossier is pitting. Megasaurus 55 is on a mission, chasing Jack M team, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
Shoot, Rob, you ever seen a hound chase a rabbit? That's Megasaurus 55 for ya, trying to close in on Jack M team with every twist and turn of Road 1 International.
Good news for Megasaurus 55, the gap to Jack M team has decreased. It's now down to 0.4 seconds. Blimey, Renopa 99 is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster. Gee whiz. Megasaurus 55 is breathing down Jack M team's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Jack M team's rearview mirror right now, it's getting crowded. Megasaurus 55's falling behind Jack M team at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close the gap. It looks like Renopa 99 is pushing hard to catch up to Lars. The gap is over a second, but Renault 99 is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on last? It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. Who will take home the victory? It's too close to call.
Megasaurus 55 and Jack MT have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 0.2 seconds now. Oh mate, Renault 99's more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie.
I agree. Renault 99 is putting in the effort. Sort of like me at karaoke night. Not sure about the results, but full points for enthusiasm.
Oh, this is getting intense. Megasaurus 55 is just behind Jack MT.
If Megasaurus 55 gets any closer, they might as well ask Jack MT for a piggyback ride.
Crikey, Megasaurus 55 is losing touch with Jack MT quicker than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Like a scene from a thriller, Renault 99's on Lars's tail, hungry for that spot.
As we say in North Carolina, if the porch light's on, someone's home. And Renault 99's making it known. He's right there.
Hold up a mo. Joe Yu is in the pits. It's a close race between Megasaurus 55 and Jack MT in 5th. Blimey, Megasaurus 55's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub. Fantastic move from Megasaurus 55, who has just gained a position. With steely determination and laser focus, Renault 99 is homing in on last. The battle lines are drawn. The gap between Renault 99 and Lars is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 1.5 seconds. As Jack M Team trails Megasaurus 55, it's a bit reminiscent of my cat chasing a laser point. Determined, but always just a tad behind. Oi, hold on a moment, Joe Yu has decided to pit. Oof, if Joe Yu was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step.
Sweet mercy, your Yu's lagging like my grandma's old computer. Might be time to reboot, or at least pour some coffee into the gas tank.
It might be early days, but Sunoiler is already casting a shadow from the first.
Hold on to your hat, pal.
Richard Rossier is hot on the heels of Sunoiler. The gap's narrowed down to a meager 46.9 seconds. Cricky, Renault 99's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate. If racing were a dance, Roll Postma would be trying to lead, but Jack M Team just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up.
Dang, Roel Postma is so far back, they're in a different time zone. Hope they remember it's race day, not laundry day.
Remember when we thought Roll Postma had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Jack M Team's mirrors awfully busy. Geez, Renault per 99 has got their work cut out for them. It's a tougher challenge than wrestling a croc after a bad day.
Like trying to rope a bull with spaghetti. Ain't gonna be easy. Like the whispered legends told by the Smoky Mountains, this race still holds secrets. Every bend, every stretch could change the tale for Renault per 99.
Oi! Someone tell Renault per 99 this isn't a Sunday Arvo drive to the Bottle O. Lars is making him look a bit slow out of the gate. Roll Postmo is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about...
Oh no, what's this? It looks like Sunoiler has been called into the pits. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Roll Postmo is breathing down the neck of Jack M Team, not giving him any room to relax.
With the way Roel Postmo is stalking Jack M Team, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
Things breaking development. Sunoiler has pulled into the pits. Blimey. Roll Postman's gunning it in 7. Just a whisker behind Jack M Team. Hope he's got his budgie smugglers on, cause things are about to get wet and wild. As the laps tick by, Sunoiler finds themselves in first. Every moment counts. A setback for Sunoiler, who has just been passed. Braking alert, Megasaurus 55 is in the pits. Hold on a moment, Jack M Team has decided to pit. Hold up a mo, it looks like Megasaurus 55 has been called into the pits. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Lars will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Well, slap my grandma and call me Sally. Lars has got more distance to cover than my cousin Cletus has teeth. But if anyone can bridge that gap, it's Lars.
Braking alert, Jack M Team has pulled into the pits. Everyone's on the edge of their seats. Or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Lars is getting closer to Sunoiler, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
Just like my attempt at barbecue last summer, Lars is burning time but ain't getting any hotter.
The gap between Sunoiler and Lars may be wide, but that doesn't mean Sunoiler is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
Oi, Lars, better crank up that Walkman and put on some tunes. At this rate, you'll be catching up to Sunoiler by the encore.
A commanding performance from Sunoiler, who has increased their lead over Lars, putting them firmly in their rearview mirrors. But could they be pushing too hard? As with that comes the risk of overconfidence and losing control. Who will be the first to get too cocky and end up in the wall? With the asphalt burning beneath them, Wayne Pearson's strategy seems to be working, placing them in 9th.
You're right, every gear shift, every turn counts. Wayne Pearson knows the weight of that knife.
Crikey, Wayne Pearson's flat out like a lizard drinking, pulling away from Chris Duke with quite a clip.
Wayne Pearson's looking tougher to pass than a kidney stone, driving with the authority of a southern sheriff.
Braking update, Lars is in the pits. It's looking good for Lars, sitting in 4th. Wayne Pearson isn't just racing, they're weaving a narrative, sitting proudly in 9th.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are
Sorry to interrupt here, but Lars is pitting. Incident alert. It looks like Lars has been called into the pits. Blimey, Chris Iljuk is farther back than my hairline. But, you know what they say about Aussies. Never say die. Unless it's a spider. Then just run. The gap between Chris Iljuk and Wayne Pearson is fading faster than... Sorry to cut in here. Lars has decided to pit. Good on ya, Chris Iljuk. Trailing so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy. It's not looking good for Chris Iljuk. They are still behind Wayne Pearson and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. Looks like Lars is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
The gap between Lars and Jack M team is getting smaller.
Now this is what we call real racing. It's anyone's race, wide open as a Carolina sky. Who's gonna step up and take us to victory lane?
I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind? Even I'm not that self-sabotaging. Gee whiz, Chris Iljuke's getting some solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking.
Now this is what I call some high-octane excitement. Both drivers pedal down, looking to grab the brass ring.
At this stage of the race, Richard Rossio is holding on to first. Anything can happen from here. Crikey, Richard Rossi is looking like they've been caught in a rip, struggling to keep up with the pace set by Sunoiler. Hope they find their feet soon. Buckle up, Chris Iljuk is all over Wayne Pearson like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? Sorry to cut in here, oi. Renault Per 99 tried to pull a Steve Irwin and wrestle with the track limits. Track 1, Renault Per 99 to 0. It's an intense battle for position as Chris Iljuk tries to outmaneuver Wayne Pearson. This is edge of your seat racing. It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Chris Iljuk and Wayne Pearson.
With every lap, I can see Chris Iljuk making micro adjustments on that steering wheel, refining traction control. They're itching to show Wayne Pearson their taillights.
Wow, it's a close race for ninth. Wayne Pearson is ahead with Chris Iljuk right on their tail with a gap of only 0.2 seconds.
If Wayne Pearson were a country song, they'd be about losing their girl, their truck, and now, their lead.
This is not looking good for Wayne Pearson. They've just lost ninth to Chris Iljuk and their strategy seems to be failing them.
Absolutely. They need to rethink their approach and come up with something new, or they risk losing even more ground. On the other hand, Chris Iljuk has been making some impressive moves and looks like a serious contender.
You reckon Lars saw a spider in the cockpit? Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central. It seems like Lars is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race. It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Joe Yu steal it from Wayne Pearson?
Indeed, the tension is palpable as Jorg Yu tries to reel in Wayne Pearson. But Wayne Pearson is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Jorg Yu find some extra pace to bring the fight to Wayne Pearson?
Mate, Joe Yu's creeping up on Wayne Pearson like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked that brake bias a touch to the rear. With every twist and turn, Lars is shadowing Jack M team, waiting to pounce like a lion on the hunt.
The mental game is just as important here. Lars must keep their cool while putting pressure on Jack M team.
Fair dinkum, Lars is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Jack M team is now down to a whisker at 0.3 seconds. Alright, I've got to ask, ever tried Vegemite?
Tried it once. Reminded me of NASCAR rubber mixed with axle grease. But hey, to each their own.
Things are heating up as Jack M team tries to close the gap to Lars. Renault for 99's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind.
Lord have mercy. Renault 99's got more space between him and Roel Postma than my paw got between his ears. But miracles do happen. Just ask my ex-wife.
The gap might be more than a second, but Jack M team is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep it in, and something's got to give. With all these modern racing aids, I sometimes wonder, would the legends of the past, the real trailblazers of the sport, have had it easier or tougher today?
That's a debate for the ages, Rob. The tracks might have evolved, the cars definitely have, but the heart of racing? That's eternal.
Renault for 99's drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. Time's not been kind, mate. Bloody oath, Renault for 99 is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to roll Postma down to a scant 0.8 seconds. From where we're sitting, sorry to cut in here, Wayne Pearson is in the pits. The crowd is on their feet, roaring with excitement. It's an all-out war between these three drivers. Who will emerge victorious? Your guess is as good as mine. Renault for 99 has just put in a faster lap than Roll Postman, so that's going to give them something to worry about.
Hot damn. Renault 99's burning it up, and Roel Postma's got front row seats to the show. Hope they didn't blush too hard.
Looks like Joe Yu's strategy might just be to let the rest of them die of old age. It's a waiting game now.
Well, butter me up and put me on a biscuit. Jorg Yu's got a mountain to climb. But knowing Jorg Yu, that's just the kind of challenge they like. Like trying to square dance in a round house.
Tire degradation's a right pain in the ass, but Joe Yu's handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with Chris Ilduke, aren't they? It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Renault for 99, who is currently in P4. But roll postmo is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Renault 99. It seems like Renault braking development. Wayne Pearson has pulled into the pits. You know, Wayne Pearson reminds me of my dating life. Starts with promise, ends up tailing behind everyone else.
Y'all remember the tortoise and the hare? Well, Wayne Pearson's neither. More like a snail with commitment issues.
You can feel the focus radiating from maybe today Satan, confidently holding on to the 11th. The gap between maybe today's Satan and 214 app is getting smaller. It's now down to 4.8 seconds. The drivers are showing their mettle today. It's a privilege to witness their skill on this challenging track.
The stakes have never been higher. This is a battle of skill and nerves.
That's right. These drivers are really pushing themselves to the limit, and it's incredible to see the level of focus and determination they're bringing to the track.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of courage to compete at this level, and these drivers have it in spades. Let's hope they can keep it up and give us a race to remember.
Crikey, Joe Ergu's got a gap ahead as vast as the Simpson Desert. The bloke's really got to pull up his socks to close that chasm.
Sure as sugar, down in Carolina, we'd say they're trailing like a turtle in a rabbit race.
Oi! Joe Ergu's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Chris Ilduke's got a battle ahead.
Exactly what Yorgu needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Chris Ilduke.
These drivers? Top-notch athletes. It's not just about being quick. They've got stamina, reflexes, and they got to think faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
I'd pay to see that. A kangaroo on a trampoline? But yeah, their mental and physical game has to be on point for these races.
The race is heating up as Puppy Dog from Hell in 13th closes in on 214 app. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
Gee whiz, Puppy Dog from Hell is so far back, I'm half expecting to see tumbleweeds blow past. Maybe a vulture or two.
Puppy Dog from Hell is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with 214 app at the moment. You know, Hal, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Rob. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
Joe Ergu has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Chris Ilduke. I expect their only hope at this point is that Chris Ilduke makes an error. Would y'all look at that gap? Puppy Dog from Hell's got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger.
Exactly. Puppy Dog from Hell's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right?
Tell ya what, Eric, Wolfs is trailing like my mate Dave after a bender. Hope there's no random testing today. It's not coming up roses for Eric, Wolfs. They're trailing Jack M team and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. In a race where seconds count, Wayne Pearson is counting on less of them between themselves and Puppy Dog from Hell. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime.
Nail biting indeed. I've already chewed through half of mine. And while Wayne Pearson is going for gold, I'll be going for a manicure.
Struth, Wayne Pearson's not here to muck about. The gap to Puppy Dog from Hell is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 80.6 seconds.
Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. Wayne Pearson's using that draft from Puppy Dog from Hell real effectively, shaving off tenths every lap.
Struth, 214 apps chances are looking thinner than a roux on a diet. Only way forward might be a bit of razzle-dazzle or a slip up ahead.
Well, every dog has its day, and this race ain't over till it's over. Now, racing is a lot like Southern barbecue. It's all about patience and keeping the heat just right. So, let's see if 214 AP can cook up a comeback.
App is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to maybe today's Satan to 2.8 seconds.
He's waiting on that golden chance like a hound on a fourth shot.
Sunoiler's more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast, and at least I woke up with a kebab in hand. Hang on to your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Sunoiler and Richard Rossier.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
You know, Hal, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race?
Sure, Rob. During these moments, drivers often take the opportunity to assess their race strategy, monitor their car's performance, and plan their next move. It's all about staying focused and finding the right time to strike.
Phew, talk about foreplay. Sunoiler and Richard Rossier are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first date.
The roaring engines are echoing Sunoiler's battle cry. Richard Rossier, can you hear the thunder?
Boy, Sunoiler's hotter than a summer Barbie right now. Wonder if Richard Rossier is feeling a bit exposed? The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
It's a battle of wills out there, with 214 app trying to outsmart and outmaneuver maybe today's Satan. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? Sunoiler's in an exciting position at second. They've been maintaining pace for a few laps now, and with the leader just within a whisper's distance, things are heating up.
Absolutely. I think you would say it's tighter than a kangaroo in a sleeping bag up there. But yeah, every little decision now is crucial. One slip from the leader and our champ in second might just steal that top spot.
Would y'all look at that? Sunoiler's thrown down the gauntlet. Richard Rossier, you gonna pick that up or just admire the view from behind? The gap between 214 app in 12th and maybe today Satan remains over a second, but 214 app is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 1 minute? You ever see a croc stalking its prey? That's the energy Sunoiler's bringing right now. Ready to strike when the moment's right.
Kinda reminds me of a linebacker waiting for that perfect moment to make a game-changing tackle. The anticipation is intense, and Sunoiler's not letting up.
Richard Rossier seems to be putting the pressure on Sunoiler. Things are getting spicy as maybe today Satan is breathing down 214 app's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them. Whoa, maybe today Satan's on fire, leaving skid marks and 214 app's hopes behind. Look at that gap. It's smaller than the difference between Vegemite and Marmite at this point. Sunoiler in second is giving the leader no room to breathe.
Mate, it's so close. I reckon Sunoiler can tell what brand of deodorant the leader's wearing. The next few laps are going to be pure, unadulterated racing magic.
Sunnoiler's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Richard Rossia. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. Look at that, Lars is hot on the tail of Megasaurus 55. Sunnoiler is locked in, mate. It's like watching a kangaroo chasing down that last bit of green in the outback. Every move is calculated, every turn precise.
You said it, Rob. Over here, it'd be like a quarterback eyeing that end zone in the final seconds. Sunnoiler is hungry for that top spot, and you can feel it.
The gap between Sunnoiler and Richard Rossia is widening. It's now up to 0.4 seconds. Someone should tell Richard Rossia this ain't a Sunday drive. Sunnoiler's tearing up the track.
If this were chess, I'd say Sunnoiler just put Richard Rosier in check. Brilliant move.
Oh mate, Lars is more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie.
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Megasaurus 55's favorite song? Maybe Lars can play it to distract them and close that gap. Just a thought.
On the final lap now, and Sunnoiler looks like they might, and it's a checkered flag for Sunnoiler, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today.
And that's why Sunnoiler is one of the best in the business. A dominant display of driving from start to finish, leaving the rest of the pack in the dust.
Impressive second place finish for Richard Rossia. Maybe today's Satan, and Simon Barnes brings home 11th and 15th. Impressive drive from Roll Postma to claim the final spot on the podium. Renault by 99 take 4th. In 14th, it's Wayne Pearson. Megasaurus 55 in 5th. Followed by Lars in 6th. Coming in 7th we have Jack M10. Eric, Wolf's claim 8th. Taking 12th is Puppy Dog from Hell. Ninth is Chris Iljuk. 10th sees Joe Erg Yu.